My landlord kept my deposit for fake damages. Now I own his building. When I moved out of that roach-infested studio apartment, I left it cleaner than when I'd moved in. Scrubbed every surface, patched the nail holes, even fixed the cabinet door that had been broken since day one. Took photos of everything, videos too. I wanted my $2,400 deposit back. 2 weeks later, I got an email from my landlord, Garrison. He was keeping the entire deposit plus charging me an additional $1,800. For what? Extensive wall damage, carpet replacement, appliance deep cleaning, and biohazard removal. Biohazard removal. From an apartment I'd sanitized like an operating room. I fought back with my photos and videos. He responded with clearly doctored images showing stains and damage that didn't exist. When I threatened small claims court, he laughed. I've been doing this for 20 years, kid. Good luck. That laugh. That's what did it. Not the stolen money, not the lies, the laugh. I spent the next 6 months documenting everything. Found 12 other former tenants from the building who'd experienced the same scam. Same fake damages, same doctored photos. Some even had the exact same damaged photos despite living in different units. We're talking about $30,000 in stolen deposits over just 2 years. But here's what Garrison didn't know about me. I'd spent 3 years working as a paralegal before switching careers. I knew how to research, and what I found was beautiful. Garrison didn't actually own the building outright. He had a commercial mortgage with a regional bank, and he'd been missing payments, 3 months behind, facing foreclosure. The bank had already started proceedings, but hadn't made it public yet. I only found out through a contact who worked in commercial lending. I also discovered he hadn't been paying property taxes. The city had placed a lien on the property. Between the mortgage, the lien, and various other debts, the building was underwater. Here's where it gets interesting. The bank was planning to auction the property. Starting bid would be the outstanding mortgage balance, $340,000. Except I knew something they didn't. The building had serious code violations that Garrison had been hiding. Foundation issues, electrical problems, lacking proper fire exits. I'd photographed everything during my tenancy, thinking I was just documenting maintenance issues. Turns out I was documenting evidence. I formed an LLC, pooled resources with 3 other former tenants who wanted in on this. We attended the auction. Nobody else showed up. Who wants a problematic building in a declining neighborhood? We got it for $340,000, but we didn't pay that. See, before the auction, I'd filed reports with the city about the code violations. The city fined Garrison $180,000, which attached to the property. Since we were buying the property at a judicial sale, we could credit those fines against the purchase price. Real purchase price. $160,000, split 4 ways. The day after the sale closed, I called Garrison, introduced myself as his new landlord. The silence lasted so long I thought he'd hung up. That's not possible, he finally said. Check the county records. Oh, and you have 30 days to vacate Unit 6B. Yeah, he'd been living in one of the units rent-free while collecting from everyone else. You can't do this. Actually, I can, and I'm keeping your security deposit for damages. What damages? Extensive karma damage. Very expensive to repair. He tried to fight it. Hired a lawyer who dropped him when he couldn't pay the retainer. Tried to claim the auction was invalid. The judge laughed. Actually laughed. He moved out 28 days later, left the place trashed, probably expecting me to eat the cost like he'd made so many tenants do. Except I had documentation of the unit's condition before he moved in, thanks to his own rental listing photos. Took him to small claims court for the damages. $4,700. He paid it in pennies, delivered to my office. Jokes on him. I donated them to a tenants' rights organization in his name. They sent him a very nice thank you letter. The building, we fixed it up, brought it to code, lowered rents by 20%, and still turn a profit. Every tenant gets a detailed move-in inspection with photos, a fair lease, and their full deposit back if they leave the place clean. Garrison? Last I heard, he was renting a studio apartment across town. His landlord requires 3 months deposit up front. I know because his landlord called me for a reference. I told the truth. He pays on time, but documents everything obsessively and might pay in pennies if upset. They raised his deposit to 4 months.